Getting ready to start my new project on a small town. I go to easybib.com and I log in with my free account and I'm going to create the new project. I've decided for this example to use Luling, Texas. I Google resources and I know that the first thing I want to do with any town is go to their main contact, which in American towns will be the Chamber of Commerce. In other towns that are not in the United States, they might look up the Department of Tourism or something like that for that town. Here's the Chamber of Commerce. I open it and I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going back over to EasyBib. I'm going to paste that URL right there. I'm going to click Cite. I'm going to wait for it to think a minute, and it's going to find it. If it didn't find it, then it would show me what I needed to do to create that. Okay, there we go. Continue. It's going to bring up boxes that ask me if there's an article title, if there's any more information that I need to provide for this citation. For example, was there an author? Does the article have a title? No, this is the Chamber of Commerce, but I'm going to go ahead and put the Chamber of Commerce anyway because that's the title for this website. After I've filled in all of the boxes that I need to fill in and I've provided all the information that I can, I'm going to complete the citation. And the citation then shows up in my list. And we have the one citation right now. There's all kinds of other things in EasyBib, but let's focus on citing our sources. I'm going to do this with the remainder of the sources that I find for this project. And I'm going to do that for every project that I write an essay for. Now, once I have completed my list, I've gone down with all of my research and I've listed that, then I'm going to export. I'm going to export to a Word doc, download for MS Word. It's going to create that down here in the tray, and I'm going to open it. And there is my citation, all in MLA format order. I want to make sure that I enable editing so that I can edit anything that needs to be edited. If any of this was in all caps or something, to make sure that it's all correct. As I work on this essay and I find someone to interview for my source, I need to cite that interview that I created with that person. Whether that was an interview by email or whether that was an interview that was conducted on YouTube, I still need to cite that. Of course, in the best of all worlds, I've actually called and talked to them on the phone and had a delightful discussion. But I'm not going to be citing a website there, am I? I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to click on interview. And when that comes up, it's going to ask me, how did that interview get conducted? Was it from a magazine, in a newspaper, from a website such as YouTube, on TV or radio? Or was it a personal interview that was conducted by me when I called that person on the phone? And I simply fill in the blanks with the information. I'll fill that in real quick with fictitious stuff. So, I put down that this was a personal interview conducted by me. The title of the interview was The Luling Watermelon Thump Queen, and the date that I interviewed them, and I interviewed her by mail. Now, some of these, particularly towns that are in countries outside of the United States, you may be conducting your interviews by email, and that's fine. You would just click that, right? If it was something that, and all else failed, they never answered your email, you couldn't get a phone number, so you looked at the YouTube video interview that they did, then that would be the web. Okay, so I wanted to put down the name of the person that I interviewed. That's the interviewee. And that's the name that I gave to that. If there were other people that I interviewed, then I'd add the plus sign and I'd go ahead and put in all that information. I complete the citation, and now that citation has been added to my list. Right? People always ask me if they need to cite the images that they include in the essay. Now, if this essay ever were to be published, and let's say that you wrote your essay and in the contacts, and this is something that happened before, student had a cute little town and they just fell in love with this town. They talked with people in the town, and a little bitty tiny town, and the town was so excited that somebody from Los Angeles was writing an essay about their town, and so they published it in their newspaper. They were so excited. So if that were the case, then yes, you would want to cite the images. So here's an image that I pulled up from the Luling, Texas Watermelon Thump. Isn't that cute? These are all little queens that are called Miss Thump. You know, like when you thump a watermelon to see if it's ripe. Super cute. So let me just copy this URL, and let's go back over to EasyBib right quick. I'm going to paste that URL right there, and we'll just see if it finds it. Well, it didn't find it, so I'm going to create a manual citation, and I'll fill in the boxes and show you how to do that. This was from a website. But then I go back over here, and I see, oh gosh, it was still stuck on that interview that we just were doing. So let's scroll down and see if there's photo. So let's see if we can't cite this photo. So I don't need to go too much into this. I brought up the thing. I filled in the boxes that I could. It's the Luling Parade, and then I put in the URL, which is the most important thing, so that anybody could find that photo that I am using in my essay, and I complete the citation, and it's going to add that to my list, right? So now my little citation list has 3 things in it, right? And of course, I know when I'm through with all of my citations, I'm going to click Sort It Alphabetically. Now, when you are researching the images for your essay, you're going to find image after image after image, and you have to choose carefully the images that you want to use. So make sure that you go through all of them and pick out the ones that you think will be the most appealing to your reader. By starting with the Chamber of Commerce or the Department of Tourism for that particular town, you will be able to see what's coming up, new events. There should be a link to the history of the town. All kinds of information will be in that particular site. Look at how cute this is for Luling, Texas. Making you homesick for a place you've never lived but wish you did. I love Texas. Anyway, so that's how you do your MLA. You've got to research the information that you like. Find the historical events that you like. We're not writing a dissertation, so you've got to pick out historical facts that are interesting to you, and they'll be interesting to the reader, and follow the rest of the outline. Then you will create your works cited page, and that will be added to your essay. You will always submit this citation page with the essay document, not separate from it, because that won't show up. You're going to be able to have one document that's going to be shown. So make sure that you do that. There's an example. That concludes this tutorial on how to create a works cited for the small town.